morning, everyone! Thank you for staying with this radio show. Woohoo! Tonight feels calm, and the wind outside sounds soft. The sky looks dark, but many small lights still shine across the town. This kind of night always brings interesting stories. Therefore, this is a good time to share another letter from someone who often sends us simple but special stories. The name on the letter is Gooby. As always, Gooby writes about something strange, warm, and full of little surprises. This story is not about busy days or simple routines. Instead, it is about a quiet place that many people never notice. So now, let us enjoy the story together.
The story starts with a small hill near an old lake. The hill looks normal, and many people pass it every year. However, very few people stop there. The grass grows high, and many flowers cover the ground. Sorry for that. Besides that, many birds fly around the trees every morning and every evening. The air feels cool because many tall trees stand around the hill. Therefore, the place always feels peaceful.
At the top of the hill stands an old stone tower. Wow! The tower is not very tall, but it looks strong. The stones look gray, and green plants grow between them. Ooh, okay. Some parts look broken, but the tower still stands after many years. Many people believe the tower hides an old secret. However, nobody knows the real story. Gooby becomes curious after hearing many stories about the tower. Therefore, Gooby decides to visit the hill one quiet afternoon. The sky looks clear, and the wind feels so fresh. In this place, Gooby said, to be honest, the path looks narrow, but it is easy to follow. Small flowers grow beside the path, and colorful butterflies fly everywhere. Because of that, the walk feels relaxing. After some time, Gooby reaches the top of the hill. Oh my God! The tower looks even older from a short distance. Some birds sit on the roof, and small vines cover one side of the wall. Besides that, many tiny rocks lie around the entrance. The old wooden door stays open, and nobody stands nearby. Gooby walks inside the tower with slow steps. The room looks empty at first. That's interesting. However, after a few moments, many small details become easy to see. Old shelves stand against the walls. Dust covers almost everything. A few broken chairs stay near one corner. Besides that, a small round table still stands in the middle of the room. The table looks old, but it stays firm. Sunlight comes through small windows high above the floor. The light creates bright lines across the room. Tiny pieces of dust move slowly through the air. Therefore, the room feels quiet, but alive at the same time. Gooby looks around with great care. Then, something catches the eye. A small wooden box rests under the table. The box looks simple, but it has a small silver lock. The wood looks dark because many years pass since someone makes it. However, the box still looks strong. Gooby gently opens the box because the lock already hangs loose. Inside the box rests an old map. The paper looks yellow, and the edges look rough. Besides that, Many small marks cover the surface. Some lines look clear, but others almost disappear. Therefore, the map looks very old. Gooby carefully opens the map across the table. The drawing shows the lake, the hill, and many nearby forests. However, one place has a bright red circle. The circle points toward a place far behind the tower. What? Gooby said that no road appears on the map, but a tiny symbol stands beside the circle, and the symbol looks like a star. Whoa! Because of that strange mark, Gooby decides to continue the search. The afternoon still feels bright, and enough time remains before sunset. Therefore, the journey continues behind the tower.
Let me tell you, he mentioned that the ground behind the tower looks different. Many large stones cover the area, and thick bushes grow everywhere. Besides that, many old trees block much of the sunlight. The air feels cooler there. Small birds become quiet, and only the sound of the wind moves through the leaves. Gooby follows the direction on the map. The way becomes harder after several minutes. Some branches block the path, and many roots cross the ground. However, the red circle stays clear in the mind. Therefore, Gooby keeps moving forward. Soon, a group of very old trees appears. Their trunks look wide, and their branches spread across the sky. Between the trees stands a large, flat rock. At first, the rock looks ordinary. However, after a closer look, many small shapes appear on the surface. They look like stars, circles, and even lines. Besides that, one small corner of the rock shines under the sunlight. Gooby gently cleans away the dirt with a hand. Then, a tiny metal handle appears. The handle looks old, but it still feels strong. Farther inside the hallway stands another wooden door. This door looks much better than the one inside the tower. Beautiful carvings cover the surface. Flowers, birds, clouds, and stars appear together in one large design. Therefore, the door looks both simple and wonderful. Gooby gently pushes the door open. Behind it waits a round room. The room looks larger than expected. The ceiling shines with hundreds of tiny lights that look like stars. The floor reflects every light because it looks smooth, like glass. Besides that, many stone shelves stand around the walls.
Each shelf holds a different object. One shelf holds old books. Another shelf holds strange blue stones. Another shelf holds small wooden animals. Besides that, one shelf holds many bottles with colorful sand inside them. Every object looks clean, although nobody seems to visit the room. Gooby slowly walks around the room. Every step feels careful because everything looks important. Then, one object becomes impossible to ignore.
Therefore, Gooby understands that the real treasure is not gold, jewels, or money. The real treasure is the chance to discover something new, to stay curious, and to keep looking, even when the path becomes difficult. Besides that, every hidden place gives another reason to learn something about the world. Because of that simple idea, the quiet room suddenly feels brighter than before. This is where tonight's first part of Gooby's story comes to an end. However, the journey is far from over. Many questions still wait for answers, and many secrets still hide beyond the shining room. Therefore, we will continue the rest of Gooby's story in the next part. Thank you for listening. Bye!